Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Solilocast. A soliloquy is a self-imposed dialogue in which the performer I switched to British when I said perform. In which the performer ignores the audience. In fact, it is as if he's talking only to himself. So, fuck off. It's a quick one. I wanted to rant about shows, TV shows, animated shows. I'll just build this genre real quick and then I'm out. Anyway, the show I want to talk to you about today is called American Dad. I don't know if a lot of you know this. It's not that of a famous show. Obviously, people know American Dad. Why am I talking about American Dad? Because I've been I've been watching American Dad, yeah. But I've always held the opinion that American Dad is way better than Family Guy. And it's hard for me to think that the show comes from the same guy, even though like a lot of the writing for American Dad is not done by I would say Seth Meyer, but it's not Seth Meyer, it's Seth MacFarlane. And you can clearly see where Seth's cheap poo-poo jokes are not going anywhere in American Dad. American Dad is such an interesting setting. They got a fucking alien. They got the CIA. They have like, just because of these settings, they can go so many different places there. Family Guy, just being a family, it's kind of a stretch. And I don't know if it's really like the writing, the humor, the characters. I'll get to the characters in a second. Let me fixate on the overall. In overall, like you can literally see the same storyline. They sometimes use the same storyline they used in Family Guy, and they redo it in American Dad, and it's always better. It's always better. Not to shame American Dad, not to shame Family Guy, because like the old Family Guy episodes, they were pretty good. I've been watching newer American Dad episodes. I don't know, bro. They're still good. Let me get to the characters, right? Who's my favorite American Dad character? You're gonna be surprised when I tell you. My favorite character is Francine. I love Francine so much because she's I don't know, bro. Francine is just great. Francine is fucked up. She's nice and she's like real. I was watching this episode where she's complaining to Stan about her life, and she says some fucked up shit. She says like, "Yeah, I almost stole again, and I was so close to cutting myself." And Stan is just like, "Yeah, whatever." To my second favorite character, Stan. People love Roger and think, "Oh, Roger." I hate Roger. He's funny, but I fucking hate him. And I love how Stan does not give a fuck. Stan is so self-absorbed. He's like a childish. He's like the childish thing like that Peter Griffin has. A little bit selfish too, but it's not as fucking imbecile as it's not. I don't say it's not as malicious. Even when he's being malicious, he's not doing it to be mean, which that's like a lot of times that's what I feel with Peter. Like he's just being mean to be mean. Like Stan does it because he's a dumbass. He just does it. He doesn't really get it. Speaking of dumbasses, how fuck am I forget this? Wow, I just forgot his name. That's not like because I didn't watch it a lot, but that's just like my brain's fucking up. The stoner, Jeff. How can I forget Jeff? I love Jeff. He's just a fucking idiot, bro. He's just a fucking idiot, a good dude. And I used to like Haley, but Haley kind of like, it wasn't interesting after a while anymore. They didn't do a lot of things with her. So yeah, I don't know. Francine, if you compare Francine to Lois, bro, Lois is a piece of shit. I'm be honest. Lois, I know we're talking about fucking animation characters and shit, but Lois looks like a piece of shit compared to Francine. I know we're talking about animation, but whatever. I think Francine looks better, is a better mom, is a better person. Like Lois seems too normal, and then when she does something fucked up, it doesn't make her look good. While Francine, she's fucked up. She has some troubles and shit, but she's still a nice person. So when she does something that's out there, it's understandable because she said a bunch of shit before. Let me this is so fucking random, but let me talk about Roger. Fucking Roger, bro. I like Roger as a character and like what he does and the way he does it. I love his costumes and the character and the personas he takes on, but I fucking hate Roger being Roger because Like, bro, Roger is a fucking sociopath, bro. Roger will drag you through glass and then act like it was your fault and some shit. And that's just personally something that I cannot deal with. People like that. Again, I know it's a fucking animation, but this is a testament to the to the writing of American Dad to make me hate a fucking cartoon character. Even though I like Roger, but sometimes, bro, he just fucks over his family and shit like that. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. Not like in a cool way like Stan, because Stan does it because he's an idiot. Stan is just like, that's what I do, and later he'll realize, oh, maybe I was wrong. While Roger's just straight up, he doesn't care. He's a sociopath. He's just, bruh. If you have a Roger in your life, I feel like this is the worst type of people, because Roger's actually good at a lot of stuff. Like Roger is a very is a very capable alien, but he doesn't use it always. He just uses it either if it's his benefit or just to fuck with people. I liked how he said one time, he said something like, Stan said, "You ruined my thing. Why do you do that?" And Roger said, "Well, ruining people's thing is my thing." And I thought that was pretty funny. Um, Another testament, like I'm gonna keep on Roger. It just shows like which show they added two characters to the main family. First, Jeff. Jeff was just kind of a side character, and then he came back more and more often, and then he became like a part of the family. And Jeff fits perfectly in the dynamic of everything. Like that's kind of what they needed. It makes Haley look a lot more based, having someone who's actually a actual fucking pothead idiot, you know, and Haley's just kind of like a hippie, whatever. But it makes her look good, right? Then the second character they introduced, which I was sure I wasn't gonna like it, because I think it was in like season, what was it, 17, 23, somewhere around that part. They added Rogu. Rogu is Roger's son, and he helps him. And I love Rogu, bro. I thought I would hate Rogu, but I don't. Rogu is a great character. I like how he talks, like Rogu, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty funny. And I forgot about Klaus. Obviously, everybody forgets about Klaus. I like Klaus a lot. I actually like Klaus a lot. But I like the dynamic Klaus and Rogu had in one episode and all of that. Yeah, all of that shit. Why can't, like, that's my, oh sorry, I bumped the mic. My whole point is, how can someone create two shows, two different TV shows? Technically they're the same. It's both about family, you know, one family's a little bit different, blah, 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 all of that. But how can one show be qualitative, quality type? I don't know. Can just be so much better than the other. Like literally different frames, different whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying, but all of this stuttering just to tell you should watch American Dad. It's a good show. It's a very good show. It makes me laugh, makes me smile. I love Francine. It's just great. Just fucking great. Who else do I love? Oh, fucking Brian. Principal Lewis, bruh. The principal. Do you remember? I can bet you money you don't know the name of the principal in Family Guy. But Brian Lewis is like, I would watch a show just with Brian, Stan, and maybe Roger. Just those three interacting and shit. That would be really fucking funny. What else kind of characters I like? It's just like me naming off random American Dad characters that I like. What else do I like? I like Greg and Terry too. More of a Greg type, to be honest. Who else do I like? There's this one kid that is like, I don't know how to describe it. He looks like he has that sickness that one little girl had, that she looked like an alien. No offense, but they kind of modeled it after her a bit. He was like gray and very pale and very skinny and stuff. I like that character too. I like one time they're at the doctor's and he dropped something and he's trying to get it. It's taking like very long, and Kir's like, and he's like struggling, and Francine wants to help him, and the doctor goes like, no, he needs to do this by himself. And it takes like a long ass while, and he picks up like a piece of paper, and he goes, "Yay, I'm getting stronger." It's fucked up, but it made me laugh. That's pretty good. I'm rattling off again. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't even finished rolling because I was so obsessed with telling you about Family American Dad. My point is, I'm getting back to my point. How the fuck can the shows be so different? I tell you why. Like, the main idea is good, the concept is good, but you can see where in which one Seth has most of his hands in. Like there's one show that Seth is very in it and active and all of that, and he's writing and he's doing that. And then there's another show where he's more of a executive step back and he does obviously all the voices, which by the way, great fucking job to Seth. I'm not trying to knock his voice acting and all of that, all the shit he does it really well. If you know Ralph the Movie Maker on YouTube, he made a review on his movie A Million Ways to Die in the West, and he said something that's very, very fucking interesting. He said, like, Seth wants to do too much. He does fucking everything. He wants to write, he wants to be here, he wants to be there, he wants to be there, and that's what made the movie bad. And I feel that's what makes Family Guy has gotten lazy, to be honest. But even before that, I guess that's what it just needs less Seth. That's what makes American Dad good. There's not a lot of Seth in it, just his voice and the shit that he's good at and that. But like from the writing and all of that, they just do it better. They just do it better, really. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you liked it, you liked it. I don't know. Okay. Why be shy about it? So this was my random rant about cartoons. Let's open up the conversation to other cartoons, like little adult animation. I'm a little bit disappointed by Rick and Morty, because when I first saw Rick and Morty, like just season 1, I thought like, okay, this is gonna be the greatest animated show that's ever existed, that's ever been. And I feel like exactly that thought is what ruined it. Ruining it. It ruining it. It just made it suck. Not because the creators sucked, but I feel like the community around it became so fucked up. People had such high expectations that the creators, at the same time, how do you say? They felt the pressure, and at the same time they're probably listening too much what the fans were trying to say instead of just keep doing what they were doing, which is where you see the inconsistencies that you can see now in the show. But I know, I hope they can fix it. I like the last season a lot, and I watched it exactly like that. I watched it without expectation. I didn't watch it thinking, oh, this is gonna be the greatest stuff. Ooh, a new Rick and Morty season. I just watched it like, hey, let's see what they did. And I enjoyed most episodes. There's only like 1 or 2 episodes I didn't like. In the newest season, that's the season where you even get like backstory for Rick, which is like a little bit what made the fans go crazy, like, because it's a lot of mystery behind it. It's a lot of moving parts that you can latch onto and be like, oh, I'm interested in that. I feel that's kind of fucked it up a bit. That really, really hurt the show, the way that the fans were, and I feel the creators let that influence them, and you can see it in later seasons. I don't know if it's the expectations that people have or whatever, but it wasn't the same. And it's I think, like, think about it, it's like, imagine you shoot a shot, you make a shot, right? And it's just perfect. You haven't thought about it. You just make it. Nothing but net. And then someone points it out, like, wow, that was the perfect shot. And then you try to replicate it. You try to do it, but you'll never do it the way that you did it before, because before you weren't really thinking about it. You were just doing your thing. That's what's happening or happened to a degree, like in season 2 and 3 with Rick and Morty. I feel like they did it great. They was just doing themselves, what they know to be right, what they know to be good, whatever. But then people got in their head. I feel like people had way too much expectations, and yeah, that's about it. Like, I wish they would have brought like 4 seasons before it really blew up the way that it blew up. Because, like, imagine if we have 4 seasons with the same quality as season 1 and 2. Like, with the same, it would have been great. It would have been very great. The new season, I feel like they noticed that. They just doing what they're doing. They say, you know what, let's just do our show. Fuck the rest. That's why they gave out the it's all speculation, but they gave out the Rick's backstory, like what really happened, all of the different things that happened, and all of that. They gave that out so that people would shut the fuck up, right? So people would stop bothering them. They can just fucking do their show and not be harassed and bothered all the time. That's what I think, at least. And that's why I also think the season 4 is better than season 3. Season 3 is good, but all throughout it leaves you with a little bit of a disappointment taste in the mouth. It's like, Like, it's Rick and Morty, and it was good, but it wasn't. It wasn't that good. It wasn't like in the beginning. And people would say, "Oh, Rick and Morty just fell off." It's like, no, 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 no. The creators just kind of had to slip up creatively, like as a music maker. I don't know why I said it like that, but as a music maker, I can relate to that. Like, the psyche is a big part of the creative process. You can't just do some random shit, right? It takes a lot, you know. Sometimes being successful at something hurts it more than not being successful at something. Obviously, you want to be successful, but you don't want the success to affect your creative process. So yeah. I hope by season 5, like the next season that's coming up, that they were just really doing. They don't give a fuck anymore, and they just do what they think is right. Just do it the way that they want to do it, and then it's gonna come out good. And it's gonna come out right like it was in season 1 and season 2 and all of that. That's the problem. That's why I try not to listen to like people's opinions about music and all of that, because if you follow that, like if you made a song and people like it, they didn't hear the music you made before. They weren't in the studio with you. You didn't ask them, "Oh, did you like this? Did you like that?" So to listen to people like that, it's like you don't know what brought me to this point. You don't know what brought me to the point where I'm doing this, where I'm doing music like this now, right? And that's the same. The expectations, the how you say it, the pressure of it. Like, you know, people were trying like the whole you need the high IQ meme and all of that. Like I said, the community was sort of toxic, and it ruined the show. I honestly feel like the fans ruined the show for the creators. Like, the creators weren't even having fun anymore doing it because of all the things that was going on around, the expectations that were waiting and all of that shit, which is pretty crazy. But it happens. It happens. You hear a lot of artists. You hear a lot of artists who like have a hit song, and then they hate that song because that's all they play. Because every time they go somewhere, people, you need to play that song, you need to play that song. And then they hate it. It's like, yo, fuck that song. I don't wanna be associated with that shit anymore. But hey, you can't, you know, because it's a song and it's famous and all of that. And if you do a concert and you don't, you know, like you don't do the song that everybody wants to hear, people are gonna be mad. People will be mad regardless, but you know, people are gonna be even madder. I think that's like with Rick and Morty. They did something. What I liked about Rick and Morty is the open possibility. They could technically do everything, so they did a little bit of what they could do. People liked that so much and was only expecting that, and was expecting that what they did at such a high level. It's hard, bro. It's hard. It's not easy to create. Like, I wouldn't know. I don't have to deal with like fans and shit. I don't have to deal with fans and stuff like that. But I do have to deal with my own critical thought and what I see is popular. You know, there's always this not a need, but an urge to just do what is popping at the moment, even though it may not be what you like personally, because like, oh, they're doing it this way, they're doing it more of this style, with the thought of, well, if I don't do it this way, I'm not going to be successful, I'm not going to get it. That's a dangerous thought. That's how you get down. That's how you, not down, but like, that's how you get into I would call it a doubtful mindset. And I really think that's what happened with the creators. They just went kind of like, it's too much. They couldn't trust their steps. They didn't know, like, is this what they want? Is this what they want? Like, I don't know. We didn't. Let's just do what we always do. And then it came out great. So, I hope you enjoyed this little rant. I just ran it for 20 minutes about fucking cartoons and shit. Nobody's gonna care for this shit, bro. Who the fuck is gonna listen to 20 minutes of a nigga talking about Family Guy, American Dad, and Rick and Morty, and his fucked up theory on why it is the way it is? That's crazy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode, this short but a little bit longer episode of the Solilocast. Next time, I might write myself down some topics that I want to discuss before I discuss them. Thank you and fuck off.